Hello and welcome back. We are on lesson 329, which says, I have already chosen what you will. This lesson says, deep down beneath all of your fear, confusion, quote unquote mistakes, you've already chosen love. You've already chosen the same thing God wants for you: peace, joy, healing, abundance, wholeness. Even when it looks like you've strayed, even when it feels like you're off track, your soul already said yes to truth. This isn't about trying harder to choose right. It's about remembering that the real you already did, right? And so, again, this just leads on perfectly from surrendering the ego taking second place, surrendering into first place where you are united with God and your big self, and trusting that everything is like everything just is, right? Everything just is. It's only the stories around that isness that makes you think that you failed, that you're not good enough, that it's not working, right? And so if your only job is to give up those stories, because underneath all of those stories, like we've said before, it's like hide and seek, is the truth, is exactly what you've been seeking, because you already chose to seek that, right? Long before you the long before you realized, right? You came here to go on this journey to wake up to your true self. And so, what is it they say? Like, God wills for you what you want for you, right? But you don't get there through the ego will. You get there by making the ego take second place, like we said in the previous lesson, and you know, trusting that what you want is possible with God, with you knowing your true self. That's all I had. Like, literally, I was about to say something and then nothing else wanted to come out. It was like, no, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's all I have on this one.
Yeah, it really does beautifully move come next after what we were talking about. I did say in the last lesson that um God must have placed those desires in your heart. There's no separation. When we say there's no separation, even like the stuff that we say, oh, that's coming from the human, that's not separation. It's just that maybe from here we can stop imagining the ego as a separate thing, because even the ego isn't separate. It's a character, it's stories built upon the face of God. It's like we use the analogy of like pinching off. I think it was on like a private conversation Sammy and I were having. I said, it's more like, or maybe I said it on one of the recordings. I don't remember. They all blend together, but I said it's more like kind of like an eye mask, a dark eye mask, and you're just letting a little bit of the light of truth through, right? But there's no separation. It's all happening upon the face of God. It's all happening within God. It's all happening. It's just whether we're allowing full flow of truth or whether we're like kind of pinching it off with false stories and false illusions. So the reason I say that is because every desire had to there's only God. If there's only one source, every desire had to originally be sourced from source. Even if the ego created stories that distorted it or kind of pinched it off, right? So even if the desire is coming from greed or hate or fear, it's really a those desires are a true heart desire that's been distorted or pinched off from the truth of who and what you are. So I'll just create a false example. So there's a desire created from a grievance that you're holding against somebody else, or from like I'm going to prove them wrong, or I'm going to one up them. The true desire behind that you could trace back to wanting to be accepted, wanting to be loved, wanting love and to be loved, um, wanting to be safe and secure and abundant, wanting to know your true power. Ego power is seeing the desire for knowing our true power as God, as source, being distorted through the lens of ego. So they're all being placed in our heart by source, by God, but they can be distorted through the lens of ego. I guess that's kind of where a better way of saying what I'm trying to say here. So we have already chosen what God wills for us. There is no separation. It's just a matter of if we're seeing it through, or if we're mistaking it through the lens of distortion, or if we're recognizing it as our true desire, because our true desire is always available to us because it is also God's desire, right? And ultimately, all desires go back to wanting to know our true nature and wanting to see our true nature. And once we know our true nature and see our true nature and recognize that, then the desires become God's desire to play in the realm of in the realm of its own creation. And it's always going to reflect that true highest frequency of love, peace, joy, bliss, uh, limitlessness. We say abundance sometimes, but it's limitlessness, right? To know its own limitlessness. The only way God can know its own limitlessness is through playing the game of limited, of seeing the limited. So it's using the game of the limited to come back home to its limitlessness. So the prayer, God, I thought I wandered from your will, defied it, broke its laws, and interposed a second will more powerful than yours. Yet, what I am in truth is but your will, extended and extending. This am I, and this will never change. As you are one, so am I one with you. And this I chose in my creation, where my free will became forever one with yours. That choice was made for all eternity. It cannot change and be in opposition to itself. God, my will is yours, and I am safe, untroubled, and serene in endless joy because it is your will that I be so. Sam.
That was such a nice prayer. I love that so much. Thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you all tomorrow.